Hello, and welcome to, I guess, this new thing I came up with just by my own stupid brain called tank reviews. See this tank right here? This tank. This is the M3 Lee. Or if you're British, or you try to take over an empire, try to take over the entire East, Stalin, it is a M3 Grant, or I do not dare to pronounce its Russian name because I do not speak Russian. The M3 Lee, in my opinion, is one of the best tanks, not because of its looks. It could be better, but just of what it brought to the stage. Back in World War II, when this tank was being designed at the outbreak of war, not many countries knew what tanks should be. Should they be an infantry support vehicle, or should they be able to take out other tanks on their own? Tank versus tank. We don't see much of that anymore. When World War II, this was a serious question. The M3 Lee kind of borrows some ideas from other foreign vehicles, such as the Char 2C. No, sorry, Char B. I get my tongue confused sometimes. It does have very innovative design focuses, such as, turn to the front here, short or long 75mm cannon for infantry support role, small 37mm cannon for anti-tank or armor piercing. And up here in this turret would have been a 30 caliber machine gun, as long as you see on the turret actually here on my cheap model, the 30 caliber in the turret is also represented. And you see these little ports right here? These were for small arms, basically rifles, submachine guns, pistols, whatever the guys were carrying in here. This thing had a crew of 7: driver, gunner, and loader, commander, and another gunner and loader. And I think there was a radio operator. I can't count. Also, if we, decide to do a comparison eventually, I think it's the same suspension as the M4. Now, the M4 was in basically testing phases. It just got approved by the U.S. Army by the time this thing was shipped out. This thing was not meant to be used by U.S. forces. This thing was meant to be used as a Lend-Lease vehicle given to the British. They did not like it when they first saw it. They thought this was the biggest piece of garbage that America could come up with because they wanted to save all the good technology for themselves. But then Britain realized this is all we could produce in mass at the time. So they had to basically deal with it. This thing was deployed in North Africa. And if you're unfamiliar, North Africa. Basically Morocco, Algeria, Libya, Tunisia, and Egypt. This thing particularly saw action in this little piece of the map right here. El Alamein. This thing was put up against its biggest rival at the time, the Panzer III. Or if you're German, the Panzerkraftwagen Mark III. Yes, I actually know how to say German tank names. Please don't call me a Nazi. Dang it. Anyway, the M3 Lee's 75mm cannon dominated anything the British had at the time because they were only putting 3-pounder guns on their tanks. The American 75mm gun, along with its top speed with the radial engine, ignore that, that's just part of the model, not the actual part of the tank. Had great suspension, especially for North Africa. Transmission could have been better. But this thing had one major flaw. It is tall. I mean, tall. This thing was so easy to see from a distance. A Panzer III could be like, what's that? Oh, that seems like an enemy tank. Dead. But this gun had a pretty long range to it. This is not a very realistic elevation. Maybe more like there. Because the holes in the way, it's not just, a deep thing. So yeah. M3 Lee, in my opinion, this is very opinionated, please don't crucify me over it. This is the first attempt at the main battle tank. And it's a pretty good attempt, in my opinion at least. This was the best thing that America could do at the time. 1940. America hadn't entered the war yet. Still let loose. With the most people think that, two guns not really needed, because in hindsight, it really isn't. Get rid of the top turret, kind of make a tank destroyer, put the gun in the center it. But the M3 was a good attempt. Brought a lot of things onto the bargaining table, onto the questioning table, and it helped design one of the most iconic tanks of World War II, the M4 Sherman. And it's multiple variants. Oh god, I think there's so many variants. I only have one of them. Anyway, this has been the Sergeant. Talk to y'all next time. Keep thinking about the M3. It's done a lot for us. As little as we know about it. Actually, let's take a look at it. Appreciate this tank. See you next time.